All right, welcome to Cousin Sal's winning weekend. Let the confetti fall. Another football season is in the books. We are back from New Orleans with full bellies and empty wallets. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Boo. Did I say congratulations? That's what I meant. Boo! Oh, man. I took a Gatorade bath on that game, even losing my bet on the Gatorade bath. But we're not all losers. Coming up, fresh off winning the Super Bowl from that Philadelphia Eagles squad, we've got tight end Dallas Goedert. Now, the MVP goes off to Disney World, but guesting on Cousin Sal's winning weekend is just as good, and you don't have to ride on a float with Goofy. Speaking of Goofy, the D3 will join me to look at next year's Super Bowl odds. Yes, that's right. It's never too early. FanDuel Sportsbook isn't waiting, and neither should you. Plus, we try to move on from football and transition into this weekend's NBA All-Star Game. But before any of that, it's time for a segment that tests my reflexes and reactions. It involves our producer, babyface Joel Solomon, throwing a crumpled up piece of paper with a thought written on it. I'll catch it, I'll read it, and I'll tell you my thoughts on the issue. We call this tossing topics. All right, fire away, babyface. What do we got? Oh, the Yay Sports guy. All right, we need to have a serious talk about the Yay Sports guy. You know who he is. Every Super Bowl party has one of these guys. He's the fellow who shows up wearing a t-shirt that says Yay Sports, and he thinks that he's being funny, but in doing so, he's clearly making fun of actual sports fans like me, like us. He'll say, oh, I'm not rooting for either team because I don't want to offend anybody. Well, you're offending me by wearing your stupid condescending shirt. I am somehow fortunate enough to do the sports thing for a living, and we get it. You prefer antiquing. I'm not going to judge you, but I will judge you if you take the best seat in the house and use it to play Candy Crush on your phone for 4 hours without glancing at the game once. The front row sofa in the living room during the Super Bowl needs to be reserved for hardcore football fans. Just like you should have to be taller than 5'4" to sit in the exit row on a JetBlue flight to Phoenix. Same thing. Then, to make things worse, the entire game, if he does look up from his phone, he's asking me questions like, oh, I thought Patrick Mahomes was supposed to be good. What happened? And wait, Tom Brady is an announcer now? I'm losing bets and at the same time losing my mind entertaining the Yay Sports idiot. Read the room, Earl. I wouldn't dream of interrupting your nerd Super Bowl. If Theon Greyjoy is running around without a penis, I'll look up why after the episode on Vulture's Game of Thrones recap. You don't ask questions during the final exam. It's too late. Trust me, I learned that the hard way when I took the bar exam the first 3 times. So let's do everyone a favor and pack up the Yay Sports guy with his Yay Sports shirts along with the Chiefs 3-peat tops and send them all to Kenya. All right, babyface, give me another one here. Jordan Hudson. All right. Yeah, well, Bill Belichick still found a way to make headlines Super Bowl weekend, this time by bringing his 24-year-old girlfriend Jordan Hudson with him all around town. There she was walking the red carpet and NFL honors in a dress that was more revealing than the time Bill Simmons spoiled the ending to Landman. She was everywhere last week. On Sunday, we saw her in the Dunkin' commercial, reaching wicked awesome Boston cult status, and then again in the luxury suite at the Super Bowl, wearing a homemade jacket with all her broken down boyfriend's big game patches. Adorable. And while some people are grossed out by it, I kind of love this. This is just what the great coaches do. Have you ever seen the harem Don Shula ran with? No, because it didn't exist. Instead, Don owned an overpriced steakhouse. Shula preferred skirt steak to mini skirts, to each his own. But the point is, Bill Belichick is finally happy. Let the man live. He's rewriting the playbook on old man dating life, and any dude who's against this is petty and jealous. All right, that tweet was a joke. I never get weird around pretty women. Jesus. My fault for not keeping my head on a swivel. All right, babyface, toss me one more. Good. Victory Parade. Yes, the Super Bowl Victory Parade takes place in Philadelphia today. Just what we needed, a reason for obnoxious Eagles fans to have close access to the players. Also, what a fantastic excuse for those Philly philanderers who forgot to make Valentine's Day plans. Hey, honey, let's head down to City Hall. No, not for a shotgun wedding, but instead to see Saquon shotgun beers. The Eagles hoisted the Lombardi on Sunday. The parade takes place on Friday. And why the time gap, you ask? Well, I guess the players need the 5 days to sober up. Back in '86, my Mets held their city celebration the next day, and half the team overslept in a crack den. I'm fine with the parade. It really is the tentpole event where we definitively say goodbye to the previous season, which is why we should be able to bet on it. Yeah, we could wager on the coin toss and Tay-Tay cutaways. Why not this? Here are a few parade props I'd like to see. Does crying Coach Sirianni drop the trophy? Does Jalen Hurts choke on a cheesesteak while waving to the crowd? Oh, does Big Dom get arrested for public urination? Does Jake Elliott kick an overzealous fan in the face? Does fellow Philly sports star Joel Embiid tear his fibula getting run over by a float? All good questions, all fun bets. FanDuel Sportsbook, you have like 2 hours to get these up on the menu. Please don't let me down. All right. That does it for tossing topics. Now it's time for my irrationally angry attempt to make rational sense of a somewhat irrational bet. It's Wager Raider. Great news. We have a new "you can't bet against Mahomes" mantra. This one goes like this: you can't bet against inertia, especially in the case of Jalen Hurts rushing touchdowns. FanDuel Sportsbook has already given us a player prop sampler platter. One of them is brotherly shove related, and I'm taking Jalen to rush over 12.5 touchdowns next season. Mark it down. Now, it's an emotional hedge because I'm a Cowboys fan, and so I can't stand the tush push, but I don't see any reason its effectiveness would slow down. Last year, the Eagles lost center Jason Kelce, who was supposed to be the anchor of this play, a tush-push terror, if you will. He retired to become a podcaster/topless dancer, and it hasn't stopped Jalen from scoring. Are we to think next season Hurts' tush will get smaller, or maybe the push will lack power? I don't think so. Who needs wingspan when you have Spankspan? 14 rushing touchdowns this past season, 15 in 2023, 13 in 2022, all overs, all BS. It's inevitable. Death, taxes, and a grown man in Philly getting his buttock shoved into the end zone. Why fly, Eagles, fly when you could shove, Eagles, shove? When they build the statue of Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, this is how it's going to look. And I hope the Pigeons do a little pushing on it themselves. Either way, I'm pushing back and hate betting the crap out of Hurts over 12.5 rushing touchdowns. Now, speaking of eating, in addition to the Super Bowl, last week there was another big event down in New Orleans. This one involved myself and Ringer legend Joe House as we went back to the scene of one of the most memorable eating competitions of all time, the historic Acme Oyster House. Please enjoy House Eats 3.5.
Hey, come back!
Carol,
come on!
Let's go!
Yeah, we need shrimp,
Etouffee, gumbo,
French fries, alligators, everything, pheasant, whatever you can give us on the table.
Soft shell crab?
Soft shell crabs, of course. What are we doing here? Come on!
Let's go, let's go.
Let's do it, House.
I'm ready. Come here, everybody.
Let the Super Bowl begin.
Let's
Come
go.
on.
Come on.
Didn't we have these?
Okay. Gumbo. Let's go, buddy.
Here, open your mouth. Field goal. Oh! Lost money on that. You hiding this from me?
I don't even know what that is.
Here we are.
Hold on. Yo, power sausage. Whoa!
I thought that one first.
That's fine. This one's bigger. What are we doing? Why did we wait 12 years to come back here?
Foolish.
Oh, man, and you thought the Chiefs' offensive line was the biggest mess in New Orleans last weekend. Hey, it's time for a quick break, but we're going to be back with the Super Bowl champion Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert, and Cousin Sal's winning weekend continues. All right, welcome back to Cousin Sal's winning weekend. Let's bring in our guest. After 29 years of hardcore fandom, I could finally brag that Dallas won the Super Bowl. Well, at least this Dallas did. He led the team in receptions and receiving yards in the playoffs from the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Goedert. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Dallas, we're talking to you a few days removed from the game. I feel like I'm looking at you now. You're kind of the perfect combination of glowing and exhausted. Is that kind of how you feel right now?
You nailed it. I'm just so excited. You finally win the Super Bowl, a dream of mine since, as long as I can remember. And the celebrations afterwards were a ton of fun, but it definitely is draining. The whole week in New Orleans, the game, the extracurricular activities that we took a part in, and, traveling back. But there's no better feeling than being a champion, like you said.
Yeah, I was there through Saturday and then went home, and I feel like I need to be hospitalized for exhaustion. I can't imagine what you're going through. I do want to know about the after party. We know Jalen Hurts was the MVP of the Super Bowl. Who was the MVP, would you say, of the after party?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm going to have to go with CD Gardner Johnson. He was the first one on stage. He had the microphone in his hand a lot. He knows how to put on a show for the crowd, and he loved to talk. He loved to show his emotion, and he did it in the game, and he also did it in the after party.
An amazing week for you guys. Be honest, though, going into this game, was the sentiment in the locker room like, all right, guys, this is going to be close, and Mahomes wins these close games. Let's make sure we cut down on mistakes so we're still in it with 4 minutes left? Or were you guys like, hey, let's kick the crap out of this team because we know we can?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. You had to be ready for the situations that if it was close late in the game, you had everything, all your P's and Q's knocked of situational plays at the end of the game. But, all week I told Jalen Carter and Zach Bond, I said, if they don't score, they can't win. And they look at me and then it goes, well, if you guys scored more points than them, they can't win either. So it was a dominant performance by our defense, which was unreal to watch. I don't know if anybody expected it to go exactly the way that it did. We knew we were capable of playing a game like that. But they've been on top of the world for the last 2 or 3 years. And we didn't really know what to expect, but we went out there and played our best football at the end of the year, the last game of the year. And, that's what we always strive to do.
I think one of the biggest plays was early in the game. Not too many people are talking about it, but it was your second possession on 3rd and 5. And Hurts threw one just out of your reach, and Trent McDuffie gets called for unnecessary roughness. First of all, did you think you were getting, and then you score on that drive to go up 7-zip. Did you think you were going to get that call?
You can see on film, I clapped my hands after I did it. I wish I would have caught the ball, and then I wouldn't have had to worry about flag or anything. But, I didn't think I'd get the call, or I didn't even know there was going to be a call. I saw the flag, and I knew it exactly what it was for. With the NFL rules, they protect defenseless receivers, and in that case, that's kind of where I was. The game's never won or lost by the refs, but that was a play that kept a drive alive and was big for the momentum for us.
It was huge. I think it was a turning point. I honestly think you should have gotten some MVP votes for drawing that penalty. That's hard to do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll take any positive MVP votes I can. It was, I'm just really glad we got the win. Super happy for the team, the entire city of Philadelphia.
Now, you beat them 40-22, and I know the Mahomes comeback, you're probably worried about it well into the third quarter, maybe even the fourth quarter. But when you're up a good margin late in the game, are you a little looser? Is Jalen Hurts or anybody joking around in the huddle? Anyone say anything funny during the game?
There was a couple times like that. I remember, I think there was about 9 minutes left, and we kind of started going around the sideline being like, man, we did it. We're world champions. And the one thing we said, we need to stay right here. We need to be even keeled the entire game. So you can't go up, can't go down with the swing of the game. So people are still saying that. I'm like, no, I think this one's over. We can celebrate. But it was cool to see how locked in everybody said and how locked in everybody was until the clock struck zeros.
How was it determined who gets to pour the Gatorade over Coach Sirianni? Were you in the mix there, or was it determined ahead of time?
I don't know if it was determined ahead of time, but AJ and Schmitty have a great relationship with Coach Sirianni. He was a great wide receiver in college. He loves coaching the wide receivers. He's made me a better route runner. But so just the amount of time he spends with AJ and Schmitty, I think those two wanted to do it, felt privileged to do it. And, I was all for that.
And I have to know, just for my own sanity, because you could bet on these things, what time of the day did you know what color the Gatorade was? Or was it days before?
See, I'm never sure. For us, we always have yellow Gatorade on the sideline, the lemon lime flavor. So I would have assumed it was that. But not knowing, I wasn't sure if the NFL had a special one that you pour on the coach that's different color than normal. But, I would have recommended, I would have told people that we have yellow on the sidelines in the games. But, I don't want to get in any trouble with the betting stuff. So
I wish I would have spoken to you last week. All right. Speaking, did you get to talk to Kellen Moore, who is now offensive coordinator for the Eagles, now signed on for the Saints as head coach? Did you get to discuss with him, say, hey, don't leave. Don't leave for New Orleans. Just stay
Yeah.
here. Come on, let's be winners again.
Yeah, I did. I said, man, we've only had you for, I mean, not even a full year, and you're leaving already. I said it was so fun having you as the offensive coordinator. Getting close to him. It's sad to see him leave. I'm super happy for him. But I did put my 2 cents in there and told him you might as well come back for one more. And I guess it was too good of an opportunity for him to pass up on, though.
Yeah, you guys have the best tasting Gator. The yellow Gatorade's the best tasting, and now he's going to take a chance with the Saints. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. Back to the week leading up. Did you get to go out in New Orleans, or was Big Dom making sure no one left to get any midnight beignets?
Yeah, Big Dom did a good job keeping us on lockdown. I did get to experience the city the first few days we were there. We had a little bit more time. Walked around the city. Just an incredible city. They did a great job hosting it. It's a cool city though. I got try a lot of good food. They got great food down there. Some of the oysters that I ate were just delicious. All the seafood down there was cool, and I got to experience it with all my family. They got to come down there and enjoy it as well. I think they had more fun than I did, but I was able to win the big game, and they didn't do that. So.
That's true. Which oysters are your favorite? Because they have so many. Did you like Did you try the roasted oysters?
Yeah, it was the ones from Drago's, the char-boiled or flame-broiled oysters. They put all the butter and seasoning on it, so those were delicious.
I think they should replace the turkey. The turkey's funny on Thanksgiving for the Thanksgiving game, but roasted oysters, I know I could say that, Parmesan encrusted, that should be what the winner gets on the Fox game or whichever one. I'm gonna put in a call.
Especially, you might as well take a little bit of the food that's local to the place. I don't know if New Orleans is a huge turkey town, so they should definitely switch it up a little bit.
How do you feel bad now about when you were booing Taylor Swift mercilessly? No, I don't think it was you.
No, it was obviously seeing her at the game. She's brought a lot of support to the NFL. But I'm glad I didn't have to see her with Travis holding another trophy. I'm glad we were able to be on that stage.
You did a good job there. So now what are we going to do without football for 6 months? I'm more asking for myself because I need some advice. I'm going to go nuts.
It's hard to believe that we got to wait that long until another game. The good thing is we got the draft coming up. You get all the speculations of that stuff, the combine. It seems like they do a good job of keeping football enough, but March Madness will be coming up. We can enjoy a little college basketball. I'll have to stop by, see the Sixers play a little bit. Hopefully they pick it up here soon, and just enjoy a little bit of downtime, get the body back feeling right. Maybe go find some sunshine, because it seems like it's going to be a little cold in Philadelphia for a while.
Right. Yeah. Take a nice little trip. I have to ask, and for those that don't know, you got your first name, because your dad was a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm not making that up, right?
No, that's true. He was a big Cowboys fan, named me after him. And, probably hated to see me get drafted to their biggest rival, but it's been incredible living in Philadelphia with the name Dallas. They've tried to start GoFundMe's to get me to change my name to Philly. But it's cool. You hear the chants all the time, Dallas sucks. And then people will be like, no, not you, the Cowboys. So it's cool to have that name in such an amazing city where the Dallas Cowboys are the rival.
It must be confusing. I appreciate the tribute. I'm looking over your head with the 88. I can only imagine that's for Des Bryant and Michael Irvin and CeeDee Lamb, right? So, oh, no, wait.
They said they didn't give me double ace not to throw me the ball. I think that might be a Des quote. So
exactly.
I took that from Dallas and brought it with me here.
So now how does it work? Do you get to name your son Philadelphia or Philly, or are you going to break the tradition here?
Man, maybe if I get a pet dog, I'll have to name him Philly. I don't know if that'll work for my kid, but no, it'll be exciting when that time comes.
That's fair enough. Okay. Another thing that's exciting, this parade Friday, the city's going to be insane. Now, they made it on Valentine's Day, probably. So I don't know that anyone's going to attend now. All the meatheads are going to be taking their wives and girlfriends out for a nice dinner. Might skip the parade. No, it's going to be nuts. Have you thought about this? What your plan is?
Yeah, I've thought about it a little bit. Ever since I got drafted here, I remember watching the parade back when they won it in 2018 and seeing how unreal it was. You always remember Jason Kelsey's speech and Chris Long's outfit are the two things that stick out to me. So I'm just going to try to soak it in, enjoy the moment as much as I can. And it's going to be so cool to see everybody in Philadelphia. And, they're so passionate about it. They've been on Broad Street partying ever since we won the game. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like. It's going to be chaos, but it's going to be a pretty special moment that I'm just going to try to enjoy as much as I can.
Of course. And maybe you should plan ahead a little. Maybe spike a cheesesteak on stage, or, if you want to mention me, you could say that idiot Cousin Sal doubted us. This is for you. That's fine if you want to do something like that.
Yeah, I can do that. I might bring my unicycle out, see if they'll let me ride that behind the buses.
Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah, do that for sure. That'd be good. Tell us about the good things you're doing with Amgen.
Yeah, so I have plaque psoriasis where you get flaky, rough patches on my body. And, I've been dealing with it since I was 10. So basically my whole life. And the biggest thing for me is being in a football locker room. One of the treatments is you can get ointments and topicals that you put on your skin, and being in a locker room, having people see your flakes, you want to cover them up as best as you can. But it was hard for me to put topicals on enough. So partnering with Amgen, I was able to talk to my doctor and find something that kind of works for me. And you guys can go visit my story at dallasgstory.com. Kind of tells more about my plaque psoriasis and what I've been dealing with to try to overcome that.
All right. Well, you're doing great things. What a year. Overcome this plaque psoriasis and a Super Bowl. God bless you. There he is, Super Bowl champ Dallas Goedert. Dallas, enjoy the parade, okay? Congrats again.
Appreciate it. Good talking to you.
All right, we'll be right back with the D3 on Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. All right, welcome back to Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. Let's bring in our guests. They are still nursing their Super Bowl hangovers, but the only cure for that is more responsible betting. You know them as my wizards of wagering, my gurus of gambling, my barons of betting, my overlords of the odds from the Against All Odds podcast, the D3, Harry, Brother Bry, and Darren the Parlay Kid. What is happening, fellas?
What's going on, Sal?
How you doing, Sal?
What's going on, buddy?
Harry, we just had Dallas Goedert on. You know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the team that you bet and won, and now you're...
Finally, a Dallas, made the Super Bowl. I know.
Oh, I wish I would have thought of that. Damn, right there. All right. Well, listen, he's headed to the parade today. I was wondering, what was your favorite championship parade moment? Macy's floats not included. I don't want to hear about, Diary of a Wimpy Kid or anything like that. What favorite championship parade?
I think it was in 2009 when the Giants dethroned the Patriots to stop them from going undefeated. I was at that game. I was at the Super Bowl. It was fantastic. Best time of my life, I think. And just watching the parade. I'm not a big parade person, but watching that parade, knowing that Brady and the Patriots were not going to have a perfect season was fantastic. Eli all the way.
That was it? Nothing with the parade at all? Just the fact that there was a parade is your favorite moment from a parade?
I guess so, yeah. Okay. I mean, just the Giants winning it all and New York City, Big Apple going crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Yeah.
No?
Bri, would we expect anything more from Harry?
No, look, he at least got to celebrate some things. I mean, I only got to celebrate the Yankees. Not much else for me.
I know.
Well, if you want to go back, Mark Madsen when the Lakers won was
great. That was fun. So that's a moment from a parade. You see,
okay.
When I asked for a moment for a parade, I probably should have texted you that I was going to ask you this question 4 hours ago. Oh, wait, I did.
Madsen can probably dance better than Darren, I think.
All right, listen, it's been 4 days, so enough time has passed. Let's look towards next season and give out our best value picks for the Super Bowl winner. Now, we're not on the hook for these picks, guys, necessarily, but I want to know from you fellas which ones jump out as good value as we toil away figuring out how to entertain ourselves in mid-February. So, for Super Bowl winners, the Eagles, defending champs, are installed as a favorite at 6-1. The Chiefs are plus 650. The Ravens are plus 650. The Bills are plus 750. I'm going to pick two teams. I'll give you one now, one later, but I'll pick two because my name's in the title and I can do it. These are leans, not official picks. I'm going to start with an NFC. Okay, let me first say this is why I'm not taking an NFC team, because I feel like I look at Baltimore, KC, and Buffalo, and they're all so good and so clearly the top 3 in the AFC. I don't think there's any value in them, and there's no guarantee if one of those 3 makes it to the Super Bowl that they're going to win, as we just saw. So you're eliminating 2 and 1. That's why I like an NFC team, and I'm going with the Detroit Lions. For 3.5 months, we were all convinced that this was the best NFC team, even when Hutchinson went out. He was one of 13 defensive players on IR. They will get him back and the other 12 back. They still won 15 games. They have a top 3 or 4 coach in the league right now, and they put up 564 points. So 10-1 odds, Detroit Lions. That's my pick right there. Parlay Kid, let's go to you for this. You're taking a big swing.
Yeah, but I'm glad you said we're not on the hook for this, Sal, because last year at this time, at 40-1, I gave out the Cleveland Browns. So I guess I was never on the hook.
You shouldn't have mentioned it. It's easy enough to not mention. Yeah.
Whatever. So, but I'm not on the hook for it. So I'll say the same thing right now. But I'm taking this is I think a little bit of a smarter pick here. 30-1. The Chargers. Sal.
I thought you were going Browns again. Okay. Good.
Oh, poof, no, staying away from the Brownies. The Chargers, Sal, had a really good year. I think they're a little ahead of schedule this year with the season that they had under Herbert and Harbaugh, the H&H boys. We don't see them really going backwards, I don't think. McConkey really emerged as a number 1 receiver. They were able to run the ball with Dobbins, and I think they're only going to improve in that running game, maybe with a more dynamic running back, a guy who gets hurt a little bit less. Add another piece to help McConkey out, and now your defense was the number 1 defense in terms of points given up this year in the NFL. So there's a lot of positive pieces here. They do play in possibly one of the toughest divisions in football. But I think at 30-1 right now to grab the Chargers is really good value for a team that I don't see going backwards at all, only forwards.
Yeah, I think the problem is they win 10 or 11 games. I mean, they're like 4 games behind
11
the Chiefs.
games.
Right, so that puts them at 4 games, a month's worth of wins behind the Chiefs. So they'd have to gain 2. Chiefs would have to go back to. I know you could do it as a wild card, but just to capture the division title, I think that's why it's 30-1 is what I'm saying. So you might be getting an inflated number. Not bad. All right, Brother Bry, what do you have?
Yeah, look, I like what Darren's saying there because I do think at some point maybe the Chargers are like 18 or 20-1. But I tend to agree with you, Sal. I would stick with the NFC, right? Because it's a rotating cast of teams, right? Versus the AFC, right? Forever has been like headlined by 3 teams. So I'm going to say the Commanders at 24-1 in terms of best value. Look, this is a team that maybe had the biggest turnaround in NFL history in one season, right? They have a very good proven coaching staff. The sky's the limit for Jaden Daniels, right? I mean, nothing, I don't see him regressing. If anything, just only getting better as long as he stays healthy. And look, they have in cap space, right? They have $80 to $90 million in cap space. So now if you can hit on a few pieces in the draft, find a very good number 2 receiver, maybe you trade for Myles Garrett, is another level for this team to get to next season. And look, if anything, they proved in season they were one of the few teams who could hang with the Eagles compared to some of the other teams. So I think at 24-1, it's a good number to jump on now before they upgrade this roster.
I'm going to jump off a bridge if it's Eagles followed by Washington Commanders for Super Bowl as a Cowboys fan. I know you're with me, Parlay Kid. Yeah, but I do think the NFC, that's a good way to do it. You got a lot of teams in the 20s and 15s that you could take a shot at. Now, Bri, you and I famously love the KCD, right? Where you just bet the Chiefs every year. Keep that separate. Still do that, right? Plus 650. Once in the next 6.5 years, the Chiefs will likely win a Super Bowl. But all right, Harry, you have an AFC team.
Yeah, and last year in this spot, Sal, I took the Bengals, and I'm coming right back with the Cincinnati Bengals at 18-1. Look, I got an easy solution for this Bengals team in 2025. In free agency, fix your holes on defense, re-sign sack leader Trey Hendrickson. T. Higgins is a free agent now, but Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow definitely want him to come back. Team finished the season strong on a 5-game winning streak. The offense hit 30 points or more 8 times this year. Fix the D, keep T, and the jungle could be dangerous again, Sal.
Wow, that is a simple solution. So sign the number 1 free agent in T. Higgins, and then sign a whole bunch of other free agents that could fix the defensive line.
A couple.
And then other free agents to fill other holes. Holy crap, I didn't know it was that easy. All right. I'm going to add the Rams in there. In the beginning of the week, we're 32-1, and now they're 28-1. I mean, we love McVay, Parlay Kid, right?
Yeah,
You never want to go
awesome.
against them.
Great
You have
coach.
a young and improving defense that was left for dead at the beginning of the year. It could be an amazing Kyron Williams year. Puka and Luka dominating the SoCal headlines. Like I said, 28-1. This team came so close. There were a couple completed passes away from beating what will be the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles on their home soil. So I think 28-1 is very, very high, especially in that division where you don't really know who's going to step up. Maybe the Niners are done. Seattle's always weird. All right. Let's switch over to the MVP award. It was very close this season. The voters gave it to Josh Allen. There are reports that Lamar Jackson didn't show up to NFL honors because he got wind of the fact that he wasn't going to win. I wish you could bet on a no-show. That would have been fun. Maybe he had bowel issues again. But either way, let's do this for MVP. Jackson, no-show Jackson, plus 450. Allen, plus 500. Burrow, 6-1. Harry, you're going to go with Burrow again? I mean, you have the Bengals, so is that the mix you're going to do?
That's what I'm doing, and I took Burrow last year. I'm doing it again, Sal, at 6-1. I'm taking Burrow. In a season that seemed like everything went against the Bengals, Joe Burrow still put up wild numbers and somehow almost got Cincinnati into the playoffs, despite not making the postseason, though. Cincinnati was still third in scoring in the AFC, thanks to Joe, who had his best stats season of his career, 43 touchdowns, almost 5,000 yards, 71% completion percentage. If Cincinnati improves their record as a whole, the MVP could be Burrow's after a season like that, Sal.
All right. Yeah, it's a trade-off, right? Because his numbers were good because the defense was that bad. But on the other hand, if they have a few more wins, he will be in contention for that.
Correct.
So, all right. I got that right? Okay, thanks. All right. Parlay Kid, you have a couple here for us.
Yeah, because one I don't think is really the best value at this point with Lamar Jackson at plus 450 to win the MVP. But at the same time, this might be the best you're going to get. Because when you really do look, and I can understand Jackson's frustration, even though I don't think he should have been MVP last year, and I won money on that, and I still say he shouldn't have been. This year, I really do think he was the MVP when he threw for close to 4,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, 900 rushing yards. And just one of these years, this Ravens team is going to really put it all together. And Lamar Jackson's numbers are always going to consistently be right around what they were this year. When you're throwing 40-plus touchdowns, only 4 picks, your rushing yards are fantastic. And Sal, he really does it without a true number one receiver. If they were to add a big piece here in free agency or via the draft to play wide receiver for this man, his numbers can only go up in my book. So that, to me, at plus 450, the value might not be great right now, but I'm not sure if it's going to really anywhere, might just anywhere but down or on him. My other guy, because I said the Chargers, I mean, like Harry saying Burrow, I would say Herbert as well here. You're getting nice odds for him at 30-1 to win MVP. And Herbert, like Harry said with Burrow, up-and-comer, we know what he can do. 23 touchdowns, 3 picks this year. Numbers were not spectacular, but if he adds another piece or two, which they need to do, his numbers could really make a huge jump, and he's going to be on a winning team. Harbaugh does nothing but win. So let's roll the dice with him with the much higher odds.
Harry's got a solution for the Chargers' problem. Just sign all the best free agents at the position.
That's right.
They got plenty of defensive good players.
All right. Well, we're kind of all doing the same thing. We picked our Super Bowl winner, and we're picking a corresponding MVP as the quarterback. So I'm going to go with Jared Goff here. Again, not my official pick, but I think at 25-1 could be a decent number. Maybe some voter fatigue between Mahomes, Lamar, and Allen. They have 5 trophies over the last, those 5 trophies over the last 7 years. Goff, on the other hand, 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 4,600 pass yards. Now, the middle of November, I don't want to say he had it locked up, but he was in everyone's conversation to win this award. And then he threw 5 interceptions against the Texans in a game that he won, by the way, on Sunday night. So get rid of those 5, put the Lions at 13, 14 wins, and this guy at 25-1. You know, he had 47 votes this year. He's on the minds of the guys who make this determination. So I like Goff at 25-1. Bri, you're the only one taking an MVP value bet for a team you didn't pick.
Yeah, come on, guys. Let's change it up a little bit here. I do think this could be Burrow or Jackson's award next season. I just, in terms of best value, I'm looking at a guy like CJ Stroud at 22-1. This was a guy last year. I think, Sal, you and I liked him heading into the season. I think he was 10-1 heading into the season last year. And before Jaden Daniels had this fantastic rookie season, you might have said Stroud maybe had the best rookie season for a QB ever, potentially. So, look, he certainly took a step back in year 2. Most of that you could say, right, the offensive line was terrible. They had the injuries at wide receiver. But there's also a good chance, right? Stroud wasn't as focused coming into year 2 based on how easy year 1 was for him. So I do think he's the type of competitor, though, that would probably be disappointed in his season. And even though they had a good season, Houston, as a team, I'd expect him to be much better in year 3 than what we saw in year 2, even in year 1. So, if Houston... Again, Houston's a good team, and if they have another good year, if they could somehow elevate themselves into a top 2 seeds in that easy division, there is a chance he'll be in the discussion. So I like him at 22-1.
This time last year, most of us thought he was a top 5 quarterback. So you can get right back at there. All right, great job, guys. Now we only have to wait another 39 months to see if we hit on these. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, the NBA All-Star Weekend, it's happening in the Bay. I can hardly contain my excitement. We'll give out our picks next on Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. All right, welcome back, Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. This weekend in San Francisco, the Golden State Warriors are hosting the NBA All-Star Weekend, and there's a 3-point shootout, which is basically like every NBA game, except this time the balls are on racks and there's slightly less defense. But you can bet on this thing as well as the All-Star game itself. Here's for All-Star MVP, Curry 6-1, hometown favorite, Wemby 8-1, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 8-1, and LeBron also 8-1. So last year, Lillard won the 3-point contest and the All-Star Game MVP. He had 39 points. I think his team had 211. Only Jordan, Harry, won a Saturday night event and then an All-Star Game MVP. Pretty cool, huh?
Pretty impressive, yeah.
Okay, so now he looks to repeat. And you know what, Harry? You make a case for the favorite, Curry, 6-1.
Yeah, 6-1, Sal. Like he did win MVP back in 2022, where he had 50 points, 16 3-pointers in that game. He's in his 16th season. Might be his last legit shot at this award again, with his hometown crowd behind him, like you mentioned, Sal. If he's feeling it at home, 6-1 is value. I like Curry at MVP.
All right, Parlay Kid, you got like one of the 8-1 guys, SGA. Everybody loves him.
Yeah, kind of makes sense, right, Sal, for a league that is, a players' league, SGA, because he plays in OKC, which is a great basketball town. He might not get the total national attention that some of these other guys get. This is a great time for him to put his name out there, even though he's already played in some All-Star games. But he is right now one of the leading candidates, if not the leading candidate, for the league MVP with 32 points per game, 5 rebounds a game, 6 assists, 2 steals. He does it all. This could be his real breakout moment in terms of on a national stage. SGA 8-1 to win the MVP of this game.
All right, I'm going to take someone who's a little farther down the list, Jason Tatum at 19-1. I feel like you could take a lot of these guys in the 19-1. A lot of big odds guys worth a chance. He won this in 2023 with 55 points. He took 31 shots. I mean, who's going to hog it up? You just don't know, right? It's like this question is like, all right, who's going to take 30 shots? So you might as well take a few of these long shot-ish guys, especially if they've won before. I don't think there'll be any butterflies flying around the belly of Boston's best. So I like Tatum at 19-1 and just shoot a lot. Just have fun out there, Jason. Now, Bri, you're going off the board here and taking, who is it? It's Team Kenny.
Team Kenny.
It's all of them. It's all the TNT guys have a team.
Yeah, well, it's Team Kenny versus Team Chuck and Team Shaq versus Team Candace, right? Okay. And then the winners will play each other. So yeah,
and
I mean,
Candace is Candace. That's Romo's wife, right?
Candace
different
Romo.
Candace. I lose track now because of football. Yeah.
So good.
All right. So you have Team Kenny.
Yeah, Team Kenny. And look, I'm taking him at plus 390. Look, you could take him in the matchup too. I think with Team Chuck, I think they're plus 130. But look, let's first say I don't necessarily love this all-star format. And I think what we're going to see, right, it's going to be short-lived. It's going to be one of those things that it's going to last a year, maybe 2 years. Although I will say, I do think it could result in better games, right? I think the one thing you have to think about, right? These players, right, are now playing for Charles Barkley, Shaq. These are the guys that complain about them, right?
Right.
Every night. So I don't think they could give like minimal effort, right? There has to be a little bit of effort in this game, and the fact that there's a little bit of a tournament, I do think helps a little bit. But that being said, Sal, I do like Team Kenny to win it all because I do think his roster's filled with young talent. You got Brunson on the team, you have Ant-Man on the team, Jalen Williams, Mobley, some other guys. And I do think these guys are the types of players that are going to play hard in these games, right? They will be playing to win. These Brunson, Edwards especially, right? I think they're still going to play hard. I just think plus 390 compared to the, Shaq's team is, what are they, plus 125. I just think there's a lot of good value for this group of young guys around 25 years old who will be out to prove themselves a little bit, and they like playing hard every night. So I thought some good value there, Sal.
All right. Why don't they just race to the monitor like Kenny and Shaq do every night? Like, just do that 15 times and we could bet on it. That'll be fun. That's fun enough. We don't need to see threes galore. I'm trying to think of what the best all-star game is of the four major sports. You guys could tell me hockey, and I wouldn't even know. I don't think I watch a minute of hockey. I don't watch a lot of NBA. Football, I didn't watch, except that I bet the over in the flag football game. I think baseball is still my favorite all-star game, but NBA might have the best all-star weekend. What do you think, Harry?
Yeah, well, it may have, but I'm still with you on baseball overall because hockey, basketball, they flipped it around now. They've changed different things. And like Brian says, he doesn't love the format here. I don't love it either. Still baseball's number one, Sal.
Well, like, kid, you're going to say baseball. You have to.
Yeah, listen, I'm not in love with any of the All-Star games, but the home run derby is still better than anything else that any of these other leagues are doing. Right. You maybe used to be able to say the slam dunk contest was even better or even greater than that home run derby. But between the home run derby and the game itself, it's still the most pure product of them all in terms of all-star.
I like that. I like that. All right. Listen, let's get into that three-point contest. I mentioned Damian Lillard. He's only Jordan pulled off that feat where he won a contest on Saturday and then won the All-Star Game MVP. Here are the three-point odds going into this. It is Damian Lillard going for the three-peat. Pat Riley can really cash in here if after being disappointed by the Chiefs, he can get a three-peat shirts going for Damian Lillard. He's the plus 360 favorite. Harry, you have Lillard. FanDuel Sportsbook lets you bet on like every aspect of this three-point contest. Which way are you going with it?
They really do, Sal. So much stuff they offer. And I'm going to take Dame Lillard to be in the three-point contest finals at minus 115. Now, look, Dame never disappoints, Sal. You just went over what he did last year in the three-point contest and winning the MVP for the game. Minus 115 to get to the finals is extremely fair, considering he's going, like you said, for three titles in a row for the three-point contest, the real three-peat. I know football's over, but one last time, screw you, Kansas City. Dame Lillard
this is the real
to be in the third, to win his to be in the finals.
Get through your own dumb joke. You don't know. All right, so there's 8 in the field, so he has to get to the third round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is it just 2 rounds now? Is the finals just 2?
Okay, so he has
I think
to
they just take the top 3.
Is that what it is to get the?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I know Harry's done a lot of research into this because. All right, Parlay Kid, you're going for a single round record here. You're thinking good things here.
Yeah, listen, I did this last year, full disclosure again, and I lost on this with the single round record of 32 points in a round. Nobody hit more than 26 last year. But I really like the field this year with Brunson, Cunningham, Garland, Hero, Hield, Cam Johnson, sleeper. I like Cam Johnson in this to win it all. Lillard and Norm Powell. I think one of these guys gets super hot. It's plus 198 to break that record or hit that record. I like it, Sal. It's fun. I'd rather root for that than root against it.
Yeah. Different balls, different colors, different points. I like it. All right. I'm going Norman Powell, plus 550. He's averaging career highs 24 and 2 and 33 minutes. He's playing 42 games this year. It's just been a delight for the Clippers. He's shooting 49.6 from the field and 43% from beyond the arc. He leads in three-point percentage for anybody who takes 7.5 or more per game. So this guy chucks them up, and he gets them at a better rate than anybody. Draft Guy said when he came out that his defense is what can keep him in the NBA, and his jump shot is what might keep him out of it. And it's weird that he's turning it around, throwing it in their face. He's also, technically, I read your stats, he's an all-star snub playing with a chip on his shoulder, which seems like hard to shoot with a chip on your shoulder. Harry, have you ever shot with anything, a chip on your shoulder?
No, never, Sal. No.
Chocolate chip crumbs, Sal, on the shoulder.
Chocolate chip crumb. All right, so that's it.
I'm 44% from 3 myself, but whatever.
When is that? Where are you keeping track of this? I'd love to see.
I got it written down.
You have it written down?
Yeah, 44 from 3.
I've written down 77% for me. You want to write something down for yourself?
See, now that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Harry's such a liar when it comes to this. Such a liar when it comes to this.
Yeah, Harry, I do remember boxing me out with this giant tuchus when we played on the street basketball. But I don't know. I haven't played. I know your brother would. I played 3-on-3 with him, Harry. He's bigger than you, and he would just take airball threes, and start screaming at the ball.
And travel.
And he would
It really wasn't a
lot.
shot, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But he didn't write down his percentage, I'm guessing. All right. All right, Bri, you're going Buddy Hield. This is fun. This is like a player prop within the tournament.
Yeah, look, I really like this one. I like Buddy Hield to be first-round score over 23.5. And let's first understand, right? The scoring's at a 40 on 27 shots. If you get a good bonus rack or you hit one of the starries worth 3 points, you're likely going over this 23.5. And look, Hield hasn't shot that well from 3 as normal over the past few seasons. But look, this guy's a former 3-point champion here. He's in his home arena, which I think should be a huge advantage. And if you look back to last year, Sal, 6 of the 8 guys in the first round shot 24 or better. So I think Hield has a really good score in this one, has a chance of winning, but I think he definitely goes over 23.5 in the first round.
I really like that. I like the analysis and everything. You went case dismissed. Buddy Hield over 23.5 round 1. That's the way to do it. All right, fellas. Good job by you guys. We're going to make it. You see, we got this. Who needs football? We're going to be right back to wrap things up on Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. All right, that does it. We're all out of time. My thanks to Dallas Goedert. You might be an Eagle, but you're still named after my Cowboys. And thanks to the D3, as always. You guys came to win, even if your bets didn't. Hey, we're off next week while I get a neck transplant after that dreadful Paige Sparanek incident. Back on FanDuel TV the following Friday. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. And please, always remember, you may feel like an underdog, but just know you're all my favorites. Happy handicapping.